Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Aspects of Aging weekly talk show with Christine A. Smith. Unscripted conversations with experts. AgingBetterNetwork.com. Nancy Bakke and Best Entrepreneur Solutions. Transform your business's profit potential with proven strategies and tactics. BestEntrepreneurSolutions.com. The Jalot Home Team, Keller Williams, Mid-Willamette Realty, serving Lynn, Fenton, Marion, Lane, and Polk counties. Visit teamjalot.com. And now let's get on with the show.
Let's get on with the show. That's what I say. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. And we are so blessed and glad to be here this morning. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm doing good. You have been hopping across the continent.
I have been hopping across the continent. That's right. Here we go.
Edge.
Showing up, perspectives on cancer. I was blessed to be one of the speakers this past weekend. Look at that. There's my picture even on there. These are our name badges, and had such a great time. So many blessed stories, so many amazing friends, and I don't even know where to start. It was great, Scott.
Well, just start with tell people how you get started when you give a talk. So when someone brings you in to give a talk, you don't just like, I'm Russ Edge, and let me tell you my story. You've got something that engages people right away.
Oh, absolutely. I always do some laughter therapy or a laughter exercise because I feel like laughter is the best medicine. Even when you're at a cancer conference where, there's a lot of people going through hard things or people struggling with family members going through hard things. And, but you know what? Laughter is always the best medicine. So we started with that. Everybody laughed hilariously. We had so much fun. And it was just really a blessing. The biggest thing for me was Tim holding me within the time allotted that I had to speak because I have a lot to say. So that's always the fun part. But anyway, no, it was a great time.
Well, people have to remember too that pastor is a part of Russ's resume. So
my first close, my second close, yeah.
That's right.
That's right. Pastors always have at least 3 closes. Yeah, for sure.
Go.
But
there you go. Well,
no, it was great. I was going to say I'm super exhausted after the weekend, but it was so much fun, Scott, and it was such a blessing.
Yeah, glad to have you back. And I know it'll take a bit of time to rest up, and I know you have more treatments coming up as well. So get strong and be prepared for those. Everyone is praying for you. It's been a good week here. I had a great interview with Inez Russell, who founded a nonprofit called Friends for Life. It's now in 80 counties in the U.S. or in Texas, 80 counties. Wow. To give you an idea, there's 33 counties in Oregon.
Yeah.
80 counties. So it's about a third of Texas. And 108 employees. It all started because she was in a hospital visiting her father. Down the hallway, she heard a lady screaming, and she didn't stop. So she went down there, and the lady was almost 90 years old. And she said, I'm dying, and I'm all alone. I don't want to die alone. And what happened was her family had not visited her. And she said, she in her mind thought, well, if they're not visiting me, I must be dying. And so Inez read the Bible to her and prayed with her and just had conversations with her. And then the lady thought, well, if she's spending this time with me, I must not be dying. And she got better and left that hospital. And that's where this whole Friends for Life started. And that was the organization's been 35 years. That was more than 35 years ago that she started that. So that is the Waco experience this weekend.
Wow.
And it'll release as a podcast 9 a.m. on Monday.
That is so amazing, Scott. I mean, there's so many great stories and the things that people are willing to do. And the simple truth is the mind has so much power. Your choices have so much power. You can truly live the life you choose, because it's true that life happens and then you choose, no matter whether you like it or not. You know that each of us, Scott, every day make at least 35,000 choices, between 35 and 37,000 choices. Now, there are a lot of those that are subconscious, but a ton of those are conscious. I am choosing to pick up this water. I am choosing to take a drink because my throat's dry. Whatever you're doing, there's choice after choice after choice. And so we really affect our lives that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is the truth. And, we have a great inspirational person today. We have the big dog from the Hounds of Business.
Big dog.
That is one of the most loyal communities that I've found out there. They definitely travel in packs. If you want to be inspired by great speakers and great guests by today's Mike Ashabraner, make sure and follow us on YouTube. Follow our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that's a good cue, because if I was faster, I'd already have that up there. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm telling you, he is so right. YouTube, the experience.video, is an easy way to find people like Mike, like amazing guests that we've had. Also, you can go to local.theexperience.video. That has all the information about Scott and I, information about our show, local, the Experience Local, and also about the experience. So there's a lot of great information there. But Mike has so much value to add, which we're going to bring him in here in just a moment. But so do you. And maybe you want to be a guest on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, or the Experience Local, or the Waco Experience. You can always reach out to Scott and I. You can reach out to us by just going to the to dscottsmith.com for Scott, or to russhedge.com. It's as easy as that. And I'm actually going to put that up there for you right now. There you go. It's ticking along the bottom. You guys have that. We'll add Mike here in just a moment, but easy to get in touch with us on LinkedIn as well. We have our LinkedIn addresses there. And so, yeah, don't forget to reach out to us. And with that, Scott, I think we should probably get the show going here.
Yeah, I think we want to hear this big dog barking.
That's right. Let's let the big dog in. He's ready. The redneck, Mr. Mike Ashabraner. Here he is. Hey, Mike.
Oh man, y'all know how to make a redneck blush, brother. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm not gonna bark.
We're starting with the time zone lesson. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, no.
No, the important thing is to say, how did you
joke?
How did you get internet out there at the cabin? Did you have to use a garbage can lid and some wiring and
tin can and a string? But we were able to get that. Yeah, we're able to integrate some dial-up, man. So if you hear the AOL guy, that's not a joke, right? All right. So, and you won't hear me bark. You'll hear my stomach growl though, because I didn't calibrate my sundial for you West Coast people. So there you go. I appreciate the grace, man. It's always a good time.
Well, listen, let's start off by having you tell everybody a little bit about who is Mike and what are you up to?
Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Mike Ashabraner, the proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And, long story short, it's just I'm blessed. Lots of heart-centered, high-level professionals, getting things done without the pitch slapping and all the, spamming, and really just a collaborative attitude, man. Putting people in the right ecosystems, people who put other people's best interests first. Not perfect people, Russ, but people who truly want to go out there and make a difference. And connect and belong with people. We live in a world today that's just totally totally paralyzed. It's what's the word for it? It's split, it's divided. There's a lot of negativity out there, and I don't watch the news anymore. There's hardly anything I can do with it. It's just depressing. But I tell you what I can do. All right, same thing you guys do, which is go out there and my little plot of land, that little speck of things that I'm responsible for, and try to be the positive, be the antidote to that stuff. And here's the tenet of the Hounds. I'll stop here. This not just about money to us. You all know that. It's about what we can do. I don't want my next 40 years looking like the dadgum last 40 years, man. I want to help people grow this thing, bring strays home who don't have the support resources to do the things that they could do, man. All the stuff we complain about, people, regular folks in this comment, right now, they're able to go out there and be somebody and do something special, but they won't. They won't because they don't have the resources or support to get it done. That's what the pack is. All right. And that's why I love you guys here because you share that. If we got up every day and we didn't have to worry about the electric bill, man, we can open up food banks, right? We can open up orphanages, we can support battered women's shelters. That's what the pack is about, man. Does that make sense? Y'all with me? Y'all get this? I know I'm deep today, but dadgummit, I want to make sure people understand where we land. And that's it, man. That's what I want to do. I want to open up stuff right out down the street. I want to scholarship people who can't go to nursing school. That boy, y'all feel me? You gotta stop me, Russ. I ain't gonna stop, brother. I'm on the roll
Go
this
ahead,
morning.
Scott.
All right. We were just mentioning that part of Russ's resume is pastor, and I think we've got the Reverend Mike here as well today. So this is the truth. I had a professor in college, Dr. Thomas Bible, and he said, "I don't like money, but I do like what money can do." And this is what I hear you saying, is that there's a lot of things that you can do with the money. And it's not about getting it. It's not about having it. It's not about having it for yourself. It's about what that money can do. So tell us about the community. How did you get started in this? And how did you get branded as this redneck? And what's your actual business?
Yeah, let me answer that in a little short, entertaining and educational way, man. And if people in the group call, I love doing this when they get to know the hounds. I unexpectedly and grudgingly, that's the answer. I still am a financial coach. I'm a licensed fiduciary. I love helping people, but I model the hounds on accident, right? The same way I modeled that business, right? It's great. Hey, you're wealthy, you have a business, you get all kind of services. But what about the folks who don't have that? What about the school teacher, the pipe fitter? Right? Well, you have to have a bunch of money to make. No, I do the same for all people. And by the way, I know we're live, but don't tell nobody. Where do you think I get wealthy people? By connecting and helping regular people. That's who I am, right? I'm just a guy. I'm not, I'm just some guy who had dirt. You can't even burn dirt, Russ. Right? So, like, those are my people, and I love pushing them up. The more ability, resources I get, I just reach back and help others. And so, long story short, if I ever had one, the Hounds was pretty much started as a group of people that just couldn't figure, we were struggling together. We wanted to start a business. A lot of folks were, they were divorced. They made $2,000 a month if they were lucky. Some people were very successful, but they couldn't figure out LinkedIn. And so here's what happened. I said, you know what? Instead of learning all these hardcore sales techniques and learning how to pretend not to sell, and I couldn't do it. And in hindsight, you know why I couldn't figure it out? Because I hated it. It wasn't me. I wanted to sincerely connect with people, man. I said, listen, if people got to know my heart and knew, what I'm really about, maybe they would decide, not me convincing, maybe they would decide to take a look at my business because my business is the extension of who I am, guys. No different. You ever heard that saying? Oh, it's not personal, it's just business. Yeah, it is. And to me, it absolutely is. I'm going to treat you nice on the street. I'm going to treat you the same way in my business, right? And I know Russ can resonate. So fast forward, I just used all the crappy experiences I had in my life. And by process of elimination, I said, you know what? There's a recipe here. And so when people came in my orbit, I said, listen, I'm going to help you get there. I know you can make 10 grand, 20 grand a month. I'm going to help you do it. And this is the raw, unfiltered version of the Hounds, guys, before we even had a name. Come back and I said, listen, everybody wants Joe Rogan and Oprah before they're Joe Rogan and Oprah, right? Or while they're famous. What if I got Joe Rogan and Oprah before they were famous, right? What if I helped them become the greatness they could be, right? Their best selves. And I told him, I said, guess what? When you start making 20 grand a month, guess who's going to come after you to help you? Everybody now, right? Nobody now, but then everybody will. I said, but you're going to say, hey, no thanks. I'm going to stick with the redneck. He was here when I was broke, right? And it worked. So fast forward, the market went. I didn't talk about money. I helped people grow on LinkedIn. I became an impromptu dating coach. Man, anything I could do to be there and support people. And then guess what? The economic conditions changed and everybody came to me, sent friends and family. And I thought, wow, you're not the only one that feels out of sorts. You're not the only one that hates hardcore sales techniques. There's a lot of people just want to be good people, dadgummit, and that's what we're here for. And look at the comments, man. It proof positive, right? And you guys are in the pack. Russ don't mess with anything, that isn't genuine. I mean, come on. So that
Well,
was the
first,
short version.
I got to tell you that I love what you said about coming together, no matter where you are in life, whether you're successful, struggling, working together, collaborating together. It's a spirit of community. It's an amazing privilege for me to be part of the Hounds. I mean, through my battles and journey and struggles, I try to get to things and communicate with you as much as I can. And that's where everybody's at, right? Everybody's got something going on. Everybody, whether it's business, personal, whatever. But when we do it together, we're so much better. And that's what I love about, I'm always saying we're better together. I wish I would have coined that phrase. That's not my original phrase, but it is so true. And, you have really brought that to a point where people want to be part of the Hounds. People want to be part of this community, no matter where they are. They feel like it's an inclusive club. It is a safe place to be with others, right?
It is, Russ. It is inclusive, but it's not for everyone. I mean, you
Right.
just, think about it, right? You don't go to church and then go to some other questionable thing. I mean, and I don't judge. We don't judge here. I tell people in the group call and face to face all the time. I said, listen, we may not be your cup of tea. And here's my thing. I'll walk you over somewhere that would be a good fit. Our egos aren't in this. I want to see people have courage before confidence, right? And go find whatever it is. If you're a good-hearted person that's really takes an interest and want to change lives and do something special, I don't care if it's me or not. And honestly, I'm blessed right now to have people that believe in the same values, the same journey. They want to see the change the world in the same way. And it's the who before the what, Russ. And again, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, listen, there's eagles and penguins. Penguins aren't bad. Okay, it just means I don't have anything in common with a flightless bird living in the Arctic, right? And as you evolve, as you have self-awareness, as you get passionate, and I went from, well, I just work a job and be okay. And then, you know what? I have the ability, if I better myself, if I look myself in the mirror and become my best self, and look what's happening, man. I mean, now we're putting together organically because I care about you and I had opportunities, right? And we stick to our values. Now we're making serious headways in cancer. I mean, look, now that the Hounds is putting together people who are doing amazing things from the ground up in cancer. You know what that does for a guy like me? 3 years ago, couldn't do anything. And now I'm surrounded by these people making headways, seeing lives change. Who don't want to be a part of that, Russ?
Yeah.
That's it. It's not about anything else other than the impact. And with you guys affirm, if I'm attracting and retaining people like you, I know we're on the right track. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the comments, man. These are amazing people. Who wouldn't want to get down with that? Who wouldn't want to wake up every day to say, wow, you know, I got support, I got resources, and we're going to change lives. One life at a time. I'm okay with that, man. That's what it's
Well,
about.
let me say that I was blessed to meet Rochelle through the Hounds and actually, it was through both Jason, who's part of the Hounds, but his oncology conference, which you were part of, and through the Hounds. And then I was blessed to meet her in person and her daughter this last weekend. So amazing. She is such a genuine, amazing person. She just grabbed me and said, anything you need, I am here for you. I mean, she was just so amazing. So, that's what happens when you come together with the right kind of people. And the fact that you are taking on causes like cancer, which clearly is near and dear to my heart right now. I'm just blessed to be part of that. So where are you going from here? You're always doing amazing things. What's next?
Oh gosh, what is it next? Having too many opportunities, nobody wants to hear anybody complain about it. But that's what happens. Let me clear the air here. When you grind and you sacrifice and sacrifice time, sacrifice, I don't watch the football games anymore. I'm almost obsessed with this now in a healthy way, I believe. I don't, the blinders are on, guys. I sold my car last year, right? Like this is the level of serious I'm talking about. So what I don't know is exactly how it looks. Here's what I do know. We are attracting the who that will figure out the what. So right now I'm pulling together brilliant people that have different skill levels, perspectives, different personality types, pretty much to plug in the holes in my boat, right? My weaknesses are many, but I've got a community of people who plug those holes. So a couple things that we're doing, we're going to be streamlining our process. We're going to be putting in intentional community subgroups because the Hounds is not just the Hounds, man. If we're going to hit 1 million heart-centered people, even 1,000, we're going to have to align with other communities that share our values, that share that passion, that say, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's happening right now. So strategic alignment with other communities, other networking groups is already underway. Um, Letting people with authority, right? So, hey, before we figure out what to do with mental health and cancer and other communities, subgroups, let's put the leadership in there. Because in the Hounds, it's really strange, man. You just put people together and great things are happening. Now we're just trying to streamline our processes to make it a little bit more clear. It's like we have a great big city, but we don't have street signs, right? That's how we were about 6 months ago. Now we're just putting in road maps and street signs and clarifying it. But what's special about it is you can just come in the Hounds, say hi to somebody, and your life will be changed, man. I mean, because you're around people who believe that. So yeah, we're filtering out, unraveling several new things that are coming up. Uh, but hey, if you want visibility, if you want to connect with right people, if you want authenticity back into the game, and you want to connect with the person behind the screen, test drive the Hounds, man. Hopefully you buy, try on clothes before you buy them. Hopefully you date before you get married. Do the same here. And if it's not for you, we're not mad at you. We still
Well,
support you, but you know, try it out before you make a dadgum decision. That's all I'm saying, man,
it's
because
interesting you
it's
talk
amazing.
about not watching football, selling your car, and people look at the things that you've accomplished and think, "Wow, how does he have time to do this?" Well, you explained that a little bit. I was thinking back to I was reading the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. Now, Benjamin Franklin was an inventor, an author, a publisher, statesman. I mean, he did a lot of great things. And you think, wow, how did he do all of that stuff? Well, the key is Benjamin Franklin did not watch television. And you laugh and you go, yeah, because television wasn't invented, but it was the television of the day. Now, Benjamin Franklin and his peers at the time, they'd do their day job, but as the sun was going down, as the day was ending, they would all go over to Mike's house and they'd play cards and drink until late at night, right? Then the next night, we'd all be over at Russ's house. And then the next night, all over at my house. And that's how they spent. He didn't do that. He didn't watch the television of the day. Well, they were off playing cards and drinking. He was inventing, he was writing, he was doing the things that moved his life forward and obviously lives of nations. And so when you're talking about connecting with these other groups, who are you looking for and how should people maybe reach out to you? Because here we are, Alan Hennessy and I formed the virtual global tea break 5 years ago. And so now we say, would we align with the Hounds or what are you looking for? How would that work?
Great question. You said a lot there. Again, you know where I arrived at? I'm at the starting line, guys. It took me 40 something years just to get to the starting gate of this. I'm not delusional. I'm not saying, oh, I'm on the top of the mountain. No, I'm just privileged enough to be at the baseline. So how am I going to get up there? Hell, I can push the boulder myself, or I can have a community of like-minded people help me push it, which makes sense, right? So we can do more together, as Russ is always saying. Um, but I tell you, it's values. It's simple. What we do is we sit down, we have a conversation, right? We watch for the fruit of what we do. So not just our words, but then we watch each other. I test, they test me, I test them. Hey, is this something that aligns? Again, it's not a judgment call. It's not saying it's bad or good. It's saying, is this going to advance our mission? And here's the duty of it. If it's not, then it has to go or it has to be on pause. But what we do is we test it out. We have honest conversations with leaders and we say, hey, what is your goal? What is your mission? And we do little baby steps, right? We scale it up very little bit at a time and we get to know each other, right? So that's it. It's just an open conversation and a hard attitude of collaboration that's an important value system. So um, it's different for different groups. But I mean, look at it. Just like Russ was talking about with Rochelle. Look at the change. And then he makes a connection to Tim Schoen, right? Who's in there. And now, boom, right? And that changes other lives. So anybody who wants to be a part of that, man, we'll find a way. And let me real quick, I have people that I've talked to in the last, year, but and this is how the conversation goes. I don't know how we can work together, but we need to find a way, dadgummit. And we do, because we're like, wow, we are too aligned. We are too aligned to pass up an opportunity. And now in the business and in the community, I'm the guy with the stick at the orchestra. Nobody paid $1,000 to see me do this, right? But if someone's not there making sure it's in harmony, it's not worth $1,000. It's not worth attending. So it's not me. I'm just a dude going like this. It's the other people out there that I seek to bring into our orbit and say, hey, you're doing great things. Let's exponentially compound effect this thing, right? How can we
Exactly.
do it together?
Yeah. And I couldn't agree with that more. In fact, I love the fact that coming together is what it's really all about. With this whole perspectives on cancer this last weekend, just like the Hounds, it's a group that's so close coming together and willing to do whatever for each other. And I'll be honest with you, I've gone from a phase of my life where I give and I gave a lot and I did a lot for others. And I've gone into a phase where I've needed help. And, I struggle right now to get done the things that I need to get done, because after this kind of a show where I need lots of energy, I go to bed and sleep for a while because that's what I need to do. But what I'm saying is this community is such a blessing by being able to reach out, help each other through things. And at times when you need it, the Hounds are there for you. And I've just been so blessed and honored to be part of the group, to be the recipient of some just love and help through it all. And as everybody knows, I can always use lots of prayer, and I appreciate that. And from each one of you as I go through this cancer battle. So it's been a blessing. And the Hounds have been a huge, huge part of that. So, Mike, as we wrap up here, we are actually going to have to do another Mike Ashabraner show, because we clearly have like 3 or 4 more shows worth of conversation. But for now, give us your gold nugget of today, what we talked about, what you want people to remember, and then how can they get a hold of you and be part of the Hounds? Oh, except for you're muted. So we need to hear you, though.
Dadgummit, I said I don't do anything in 15 minutes, Russ. You know that. So we'll have like part 60. All right. But no, I appreciate it. Here's what I'm going to leave people with. Again, this is don't I got to put disclaimers on it, right? It's not about judgment. It's an observation. And here's the whole thing. Just like with Scott was talking about. It's saying at some point you're faced with a fork in the road. And for me, it was just that moment where I've realized you're making excuses. Your limitations are self-imposed. Listen, guys, if there's something in your life, or lots of things, or your life in general isn't going the way you want it to, it's on you. Doesn't mean that it's fair. Doesn't mean that other things that happened wasn't right. What I'm saying is that's up to you. Understand you can change it. That I looked at me in the mirror one day and I said, personal responsibility. What are you doing to cause this life? What are you doing to cause X, Y, and Z? What can you do better? Boy, that's a scary journey. It's no wonder people drink and bury their head in the sand and just keep going. But if you're the person at that aha moment, it's scary. It's absolutely scary to dig inside and go through all that stuff inside of you. But do it anyway. And that's when you do it, it's like when you buy a car and then you see that car everywhere and you never noticed it before. It's the same thing with personal growth, right? You're like, wow, I'm not the only one. And people will come into your orbit. So as you prune old habits, old branches, old ways of being, it's scary because you're letting go of one vine like a monkey, right? You're swinging to the other vine, but you're suspended for a nanosecond before you grab it. And that's really what I think that the underlying denominator of the Hounds is that you're not alone. You have a safety net, right? You have that support. So here's my thing. Keep going. Keep going. Yes, they're not going to understand you. It's okay. But if you keep going and you write that book that you've been dreaming about and that you've been telling yourself you can't do, hey, we got people to help you with that, right? Like, so that's my calling card. Stop giving yourself a million excuses. Well, I'm not a morning person. I ain't either. But if I want the lifestyle and the impact of this to go bigger, guess what, guys? I'm going to have to do what it takes, sacrifice to get that done. That's where I'm at right now. It's not romanticized. It's not pretty. And yes, you'll probably find out the self-help section, 95% of it probably is garbage. Uh, but is alone. You're not alone. Okay. Do the hard work, because in 5 years from now, do you think I'm going to care about this? No. You know what I'm going to care about? All of the amazing progress and impact, the changed lives, the survival rates. That it's not about the people clapping for me. It's none of that. It's about, hey, before I die, my family's proud. People are seeing, and it inspires others. If I can help one person, it's all that matters to me. So you know what? That's from the heart, guys. I just wanted people to see that aspect of who I am, why I do it, not just the Hounds guy, but the guy who wakes up every day. I'm not a guru. I'm not some superhero. I'm just some guy who just said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing things that are not okay. And I'm going to do something about it. And I'm blessed beyond measure to have you, CJ, all the people in the comments. Eamon is with one of the communities that we're cross-pollinating with. April Wyatt, amazing individual who is a Hounds ambassador through you, right? Because she saw me through you. And that's our calling card. No more strays. You have something great to do in this world. Dadgummit, stop telling yourself you can't. Give me one reason. That's the hard part. One reason you can. And if you're ready to cross that bridge, hey, let's have a chat. Find me on YouTube. We're a Hounds of Business on YouTube, LinkedIn, and I also have a landing page. So just DM me. I'm not going to pitch slap you. You come to a group call, get to know us, make up your own daggum mind. I don't care if you say yes or no. What I encourage you to do, which I learned a hard, long way, is to know what the heck you're saying yes and no to. Simple as that. And if I'm not a good fit, I will plug you in somewhere where you can thrive and grow. Does that make sense?
Yep. And I know that to be true. You're an amazing, amazing friend, Mike, and an amazing resource. Everybody, there's his contact information. It's in the show notes. It's in the comments. It's clickable. Clickable, everybody. What does that mean? Click on it. Go straight to Mike. You don't have to remember all this stuff. Just click on it. Go straight to Mike. Everything is worth a conversation, and he is an amazing individual. Scott, what are your final words before we let Mike go?
Yeah, isolation is the killer, right? This is we know this to be true, and you can be surrounded by people. You could be in a cube, a sea of cubes, and be isolated. You can be working out of your house and be well connected to people, and have a life full of engagement with remarkable people who want you to succeed. And that's what groups like the Hounds of Business, Mike Ashabraner, bring. Thank you for being our guest today, Mike.
Oh, my pleasure.
Mike, we're going to send you to the green room, but hang tight for just 1 second as we wrap things up. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. We'll see you in a few.
Appreciate you guys. Love you all, man. Be good.
You too. Woo. Wow, I tell you, that was action-packed. We need to do about 2 more of those.
Time goes fast, doesn't it?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah. You know, it is so true. Isolation is a killer. And people, when they get into problems like the cancer battle that I'm going through, they tend to isolate themselves. They think that, they need to hide it from other people. And I have found in my humble opinion, listen to what God is saying to you and share with your friends. And people want to bless you and reach out to you, just like you should be blessing others and reaching out to them. And it's just a matter of community, of friends loving one another. And I'm telling you, it means so much. It means so much when people tell you they love you, that they're praying for you, that they're here for you, and they mean it, and they actually do things. That's what we should live by, the golden rule, treating other people the way we want to be treated, living a life that way. Right, Scott?
Well, and Russ, you're an example of a good friend. And some people think that being a good friend means always giving out to their friends, always being there, always bringing the meals, sending the messages or whatever. But also being a good friend means letting your friends help you. That is also being a good friend. When you don't let your friends help you, you are not a good friend. And so I thank you for all of the care and support and encouragement and the friendship that you've given me, but also thank you that you're willing to let people help you as well.
That's hard.
By example.
Yeah. And that's hard sometimes. It really is. I'll tell you firsthand.
It is hard.
It's very hard.
Probably the hardest part of being a friend is letting people help you.
Yeah, it's very hard. And, what you're basically doing is robbing them of the blessing of being able to bless you. And when you really want to help others, you don't want them to rob you of the ability to help them, because you're going to say, no, I'm doing this. In fact, my good friends Joan and Karen this last weekend, when they were doing stuff for me, and I would tell Joan she'd give me the look. I'd say, no, they're buying me dinner. I said, you don't need to do that. And she goes, we're going to help you. We're going to do it. So I don't want to hear it. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And I smiled and I looked at her husband. I said, is that the look you get too? Yeah, definitely. She wanted to help. And so it's just a matter of
rob them of the joy.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I want to tell you, we're here on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. You can go to the experience.video to join our YouTube page. Also, go to local.theexperience.video for more information on us. And we just love this community. We want you to be able to be part of that. And YouTube is a great resource for everything close together. But you can also join us and always be looking on LinkedIn and on Facebook, where we also broadcast. This becomes a video podcast, stays on there forever. So you can always go back, share, do whatever you want. But also, you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon, any of your favorite podcast platforms, because it converts to audio podcast as well after today. And so we hope you do that. And until next week, we're going to say goodbye for now, but have a blessed week. Until we see you again, live life and
enjoy the experience.
Woohoo! See you, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.